it's a very technical fence actually. Some people think you just walk down the bank, jump off it and jump a 160 vertical, but it's
simple as that.
Not just as easy as that.
let's have a look at it.
We'll have a look. So basically when I'll be coming through this turn, I'll be trying to keep my horse as relaxed as possible. Even letting him have a breather. Comes down off the table from there. You get nice and straight, get into the corner, try and get him to breathe and relax, catch a breath, because if they rush up here, you can really get into a lot of trouble. So just walking through the turn. So again, you want to be coming here. I already this morning have picked my line for what I'm going to take, so I intend on coming up on the right hand side here, just so that the ground is a little bit nicer here, if you noticed in there, from the Speed Derby and the Derby Trial. We've used this bank already. So I intend on going up on this line here where the ground is better.
And this is the kind of fence, isn't it, where I imagine Chinook is going to come into his own.
Absolutely.
He's used to scrambling up and down big.
Absolutely, yes. He's very brave for these kind of obstacles, all right. So even now you see how steep it is. We're really having to push up there, and it looks very level.
Let's just have a quick look back down there.
Yeah.
Just so you can see. And it is, it's steep.
Yeah, steep enough, yeah.
And they've got to clamber up that hill and then gather themselves together.
Usually you come here in a very slow canter or trot, because they've had to push so much up. Very few horses get here cantering, so most horses will be trotting at this stage. And I intend on jumping the post. I aim for the post here.
And is that because it's less likely to fall, basically?
Well, yes, it also gives them something, so they keep their eye on this.
Yes.
So they have to jump that rather than a gappy vertical. Out of trot, they just drop their heads hopefully and just pop over this. We'll just lower one side to get over here. Okay, and again the line, I'm going to stay from corner to corner straight as possible, from this post to that post. So I walk straight down my line here.
So is that one stride you've got? I mean, well, no, I guess you'll be in trot, I guess.
Well, you land. Yeah, you land here, and you have literally one stride to stop. Some horses run off, and that's when the trouble starts.
This is, you see, you can't. And then you're on a horse. Obviously you're on a horse. So this
absolutely
is fairly terrifying. It's really, really quite hard to capture on camera just how terrifying it is.
Especially when you're sat on a 16.3 horse and you're up here.
Yes.
So it is a bit daunting. But if you have your horse trained correctly and they're confident in what they're doing, they usually don't have too much problems with it.
You land at the bottom, hopefully, all 4 feet land at the bottom.
Absolutely, you want to kick off halfway.
And then, would you sort of think like 2 strides to that? That's a big
two strides,
fence.
2 strides to the vertical there. So you'll jump off halfway and you'll have your 2 strides and then pick up the vertical. We'll go and have a look from the other side. Okay, so we're now at the landing side of the bank, and you can just actually see how high it is. It's
just walk a little bit closer, Richard, so we can really get a feel of this.
Yeah, my height wouldn't be the best judgment now, to be honest.
Now Richard's 6'5", that gives you some perspective.
No, that is a very high bank.
6'5", but
Yeah.
So that is, and it's just, it's not quite vertical, but it's not far off, is it?
No, it's not. There's only a very little slant in it, really, and you find here is like a cut-off point, so that the horses get to about here, and if they like scramble all the way down, they'll get to there and pop off. But ideally, if we go to my line where I will be jumping, I want to be kicking off about here.
Well, I'm just going to back off so I can see that.
About that brown spot there.
Yeah.
Hopefully my horse just creeps down over the edge. There's 1 stride slowly, kicks off there, so that will encourage me to land here. And again, staying on my line, I go from post on the top to post at the bottom. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's 2 strides to here. Hopefully I'll be a little bit further away. I don't want to be that close to that big vertical, but that is a very big jump if you can.
It's set too big. It doesn't look that. I mean, you don't realize how big it is.
Absolutely, on TV, these jumps, they really don't do justice how big they actually are.
You said it's 1.60 meters?
Yes, absolutely, every inch of it.
And again, are you going to head for the post?
Head for the post. I will aim from post to post. And hopefully we clear it. Okay, so we land off the bank, jump the vertical. A lot of people have started to come to the right hand side of the bank and creating a bend to get the horses a little bit more underneath them, with the curve helping them to get the horses straight. This year, last year I went right, but I'm going to go left this year. I'm going to really try and stay on the straight line Just
and
so
what's the left keeps you straighter?
Yes, left gives you a lot of time to get your eye on the jump. If you look, the problem is with the Devil's Dyke is it's so gappy, and then when you get close they look straight in at the water.
They're skinny little poles, aren't they?
Very skinny little poles, and we'll have a look at the cups as well. The cups are very, very shallow. So again, I'll be cantering up the line as close to the boards as possible.
I mean, you're going to have cars, people.
Absolutely,
It's
people, umbrellas, kids shouting, everyone getting excited for the big day, and everyone's really, really buzzed when you get through this obstacle. It's a very big challenge, to be honest. So again, you want to be coming straight, and as you start to get closer, the horses hopefully start to pick up the top pole. The top rail is it's a high jump.
Do you want to get quite close to this kind of fence?
Yeah, not ideally. You want to have your horse travelling nicely across the ground, and you want a bit of space. I will try and jump it this year as an individual jump, and then when you get in, you have one stride and one stride, but you really have to push for the middle part so they get a nice travelling jump, So even you see the cups here, the course builders are getting very clever all the time. So this cup has a lip, so it really helps the pole to stay on. This one is shaven. You see here they've cut it down.
Sneaky,
so it's,
isn't it? Sneaky.
Yeah, they're trying to make it more difficult for us.
If it's not difficult enough.
Yeah, so this is a big vertical and you have to treat it with a lot of respect. So hopefully we get in a bit nicer this year. So we land about here. We go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so already this is quite a big obstacle from here. This is going to be your takeoff spot. So you have to get the height over the vertical in the middle and the width over the water tray. It's a very big water tray, and a lot of horses will come in here and look down at the water and unfortunately make a mistake on the top pole. Okay, so again, talking about the cups, the poles here are on safety cups. So if there's any weight, anyone has a bad experience and the horse gets frightened and jumps on the poles, the cups give way for the safety of the horse, which is obviously the best way. Okay, so we land here again, and we go. So this is a very big obstacle from here. It's your takeoff spot again. It's already about 155, 160. So when you take off from here, it makes it about 180. So it's a very big effort for the horse to jump out of here correctly. Again, to get out correctly, you need to get in the way you want to, so you can push out. If you get in close and they make a strong effort on the first part, then it's hard work.
Now
to get out
this is
here.
Towards the end of the course.
Yeah, well, really, just before the bank, that's when things start to get difficult. So this is about your halfway point. So you land out of here, and then you have to canter away from the gate to a very, very big water. So we land off the dike. Again, you're coming away from the gate, so you don't want your horse to drop off the bridle. You want to keep them up in front of your leg. So they're travelling away from the gate in a nice positive canter. Usually at a water jump, we always have a kicking board or a gate or something about this high to help the horses get up into the air. At Hickstead, they have a very, very, very small block. So you need to be moving as much as possible on the last 4 to 5 strides. You don't want to get too flat, because then you get too strung out and your horse has an empty jump. Ideally, you want to have them travelling through the corner in your hand. Last 4 to 5 strides, really pick up a good gallop and get a really positive jump on takeoff. So you've got nothing to push against, so you have to be very accurate here. If you make a mistake and misjudge the line, then you're going to be in trouble. It's a very wide jump. So it's how
wide is it? Do you know?
I'm not exactly sure. I would say
very wide.
2.5 meters or something. Definitely or maybe 3 meters.
And there's that lip you were just
It's
saying.
probably 3 meters actually. Yeah. But it's from here to there. So you have a big stretch. Again, you can see it's a very big, bold jump on very flat cups. Actually, the poles look really, really thick, but the cups are very flat, so it's very easy to fall down. The water is encouraging you to land really forward, so you need to travel. It walks a level 10 strides down here. You'll find a lot of people do 11 just to really jump the water, slow it all down, get the horses on their hocks to get a nice jump over this very tall vertical. Again, I will aim for the post, so I will have my horse's eye hopefully on that centre post all the way down the distance from the water.
And aiming for the post, obviously the post is slightly higher than the rail, will that encourage them to pick up a bit more?
Absolutely. You know, if they hit the post, very rarely will hit the post. If you aim straight, your horse's chest is wider than the post. So you will have one leg either side, and if he jumps 2 inches higher in the middle, then it's better.
So Rich, can you just explain what you were saying? This is also quite a tricky fence, which I've got to be honest, to my eye, looks like a fairly straightforward fence after everything else you've walked. Why is this tricky?
This is tricky because the horses they've put a lot of effort in all the way around, and you get up a bit closer so we can see it a bit more. You have a massive dry ditch here, so it's a lot bigger than most. It's at least 1.5 meters wide. You see, it's a very big ditch. So we'll be taking off about here, and then you also have a 160 vertical at the other side. So it's a big stretch. A lot of horses have this jump down behind because they push and they can't. It's too far away for them to finish off their jump. So you really need to be careful that you get a very good positive jump here, and that the horses really have a good bit of power so they can finish behind and they don't hollow out and make a mistake behind. Also, very nice of the course builder on collapsible cups, because we have a lot of horses get to about here, hold their breath and make a mistake on this jump. So it's good that the poles are going to fall down in a safe way and the horse is going to be healthy at the end of it.